Good evening. We're starting with breaking news tonight. 4 people are dead after a helicopter crashed in the mountains south of the town of Superior. The Pinal County Sheriff's Office sharing the heartbreaking news late this evening. 12 News journalist Sean Rice has been closely following this story from the airport in Superior. And Sean, look, this story just went from bad to worse. A helicopter, all 4 on board perish, foggy conditions. But now we learn that this helicopter likely hit a slack line that was strung between 2 mountain outcroppings.
Right. Yeah, Mark, good evening to you. A lot of those questions that we had earlier this evening are coming to fruition. We're getting some answers in terms of what exactly happened, and I'll get to that slackline cause here in a moment. But it's hard to put into words just the immeasurable loss that Pinal County saw this morning, Friday morning. A helicopter taking off from an air park in Queen Creek crash lands in the Telegraph Canyon area. This is about 5 to 7 miles south of right where I'm standing at the Superior Municipal Airport. And late tonight, the sheriff's office telling us that all 4 people on board, a 59-year-old man from Queen Creek who was the pilot, and 3 of his female family members, ages 22, 21, and 21, have all perished in this awful helicopter crash. Let's take you to some Sky 12 video. Our helicopter was able to fly over the scene earlier on this afternoon. They were unable to find this actual crash site because there has been a no-fly zone that was in place and remains in place within a 4-mile radius of where that helicopter went down. The sheriff's office says it departed from Pegasus Air Park in Queen Creek earlier this morning, and this crash landing happened at around 11 a.m. We do not yet know why they were headed northeast towards the town of Superior right before it went down. PCSO says preliminary evidence shows a recreational slackline more than 1 kilometer long was strung out over a mountain range. They say an eyewitness called 911 to report seeing the helicopter strike that line and then dive down deep into the canyon, crashing. Photos from the Pinal County Sheriff's Office shows their search and rescue teams on the ground in the mountains this afternoon. They reached that crash site on foot at around 4 p.m., making that awful discovery that nobody on board made it out alive. Now, right now, there is a federal and local response. The FAA and NTSB, 2 federal agencies, will be investigating the cause of this crash. Again, preliminary evidence is that it hit a slack line, but they will make a final determination of what ultimately caused it to go down. I'm told an NTSB investigator will be on site, quote, sometime tomorrow. Now, the Pinal County Sheriff's Office has not released any names of the 4 people who perished on board. They did issue a statement, I think, echoing a sentiment that a lot of us feel all throughout the valley. They offered their thoughts and prayers with each person involved. Now, I did have someone reach out to me who informed me that one of her daughter's best friends was on board. She indicated to me that this family may be from Eastern Oregon. I have no idea why they were in this area, but I just expressed my thoughts and prayers with her, offering my sympathy that her family is no doubt going through a heartbreaking situation, just as the family members of the 4 people on board. Mark, we'll send it back to you.
How tragic. And Sean, did the sheriff's deputies mention in their news conference if someone could ultimately be charged for putting up this slack line, or is it too early?
Yeah, I think it's too early at this point. Again, they described this cause being a slack line that this helicopter hit, or at least one of the top of the helicopter may have hit, as, quote, preliminary evidence. I don't think local law enforcement agencies ultimately find an official cause until the NTSB and the FAA come in, do a ground search, and ultimately come and make a report. And so I expect this wreckage to remain on site 5 to 7 miles south of the town of Superior well throughout the evening until they can get official investigators in and determine an official cause. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Sean, thanks.